It's so satisfying, just that one knob, switching it, seeing all of the lights come on. Love it. Still a little sick, unfortunately, but like that view motivates me a ton every single day. I just absolutely love it. I mean, who can say that they have a recording studio and they can look onto water and just really far and still kind of somehow pay it? It's great. I know, no more equipment, but again, this right here is really necessary. You will see why in a second. It's another 500 series, like the case for 500 series. That's the unit, very simple. That's where you plug your 500 series modules in. This right here is responsible for the power, on, off. Love that switch. And on the back, very simple, you got your ins and outs, and you can even link them. And fairly inexpensive. The main reason I got it is because there's still some modules hanging around without a case, and I don't like that. They just get a lot of dust, and I can't use them without a case. This time I know we make it. This time it's gonna be real. But if we just pretend it, who are we? All done with the new one. It will one day go right here underneath the other 500 series module and the compressors and EQs. So just to explain all of this a little bit more, this is a 500 series case where you can plug in modules to have EQs, compressors and whatnot to use it in your studio. These two right here are left over. The preamp still needs its tubes, and this one right here is a different module. It has here like two more. It doesn't fit in there. For that you need like a special case. Well, look how beautiful this looks. This one right here was built by a friend by hand. He did all of this himself. So this system is definitely 100% the cheapest way to get into analog gear. First of all, way more versatile. You can have different things in just one unit. You can switch it out whenever you want. And the 500 series modules are usually way cheaper than the bigger original ones. There's a lot of fake stuff available that uses the same components. And there's also a lot of original stuff around. If you want a preamp by Neve, no problem. You can get one for I think 500 to 800 euros, which is still way cheaper than trying to get a huge mixer with the Neve preamps built in. It works in a really simple way. You just slide the modules in, make sure that they attach at the bottom. It's basically like using the cartridges of an N64, if you still know what an N64 is. And then you got all of that analog goodness available to you. I got here a couple more free spots for more modules that I might buy in the future. Yes, I know, no more gear, but just like small things. There are even companies making synthesizers for the rack, small synthesizers. There are also some where you can patch around. Most of these just take up one spot. It's connected on the back to XLR in and out, and it also provides it with power. So for example, if you have a module that needs stereo, like the EQs that I have in the front, it actually captures two of these slots and uses then 4 connections on the back. A lot of you might be asking, is it actually worth it to get into analog gear? I would still say no, not really. If you're just about making electronic music, and especially if you're making more modern electronic kind of music, it's really not necessary. There are plugins out there that do basically the same, maybe in some cases even better, in some cases a little bit less. In some cases it might sound different, but not really better. It's really nowadays so close that actually no one can really tell if something was produced analog or not. You can fake an analog sound with not analog gear. Some people listen to my music and say it sounds so analog and rich, but it's all out of the box. And then there are some other songs that were made with analog gear, but they sound like plastic because people don't know how to use their gear. So at the end we end up again with the discussion about skill and gear, and it's not the gear, it's the skill 100%, especially nowadays. Maybe 20 years back it made a difference which kind of gear you use. Nowadays it's very slim, so just do whatever you feel like doing and you feel like comfortable making music. If this inspires you to make music, if you like to twist around knobs and you love to, for example, connect a mic to it, record it through a preamp, EQ it, limit it, and then back into the computer, or you have a synthesizer and you want to run it through a compressor, echo, a spring reverb, then just go ahead and do that. It's definitely a lot of fun. It's really a matter more of what you prefer, your workflow. If you like to work in the box, for example, I'm so used to it. Everything that distracts me from working within the computer is just annoying me because it takes more time to do these kind of things. But for my recording process, I will stick to the analog gear. So whenever I have a singer-songwriter here, the mic goes into the analog gear, then into the computer, because you can actually hear that difference in sound, at least when it comes down to recording, especially when you use preamps. I don't know what they do, but they just make it sound better. And it's hard to get that kind of sound to mimic that in software. Like preamps, still the only one where I would argue that it makes sense to get the analog gear. So let's actually get it to the front, it's heavy, and connect it. Next up is actually connecting all of that without making a too big mess. I know everyone hates my cable management, but soon a new desk and then we will be already here in the A studio and just back to making music 100%. The next sessions are already planned. I will play around with this a little bit. We'll see us tomorrow back again. I think tomorrow it's time for a fun contest. If you're subscribed a little longer, you know which kind of fun contest.
This time we're going easy. This time it's something real. But if we just